Good afternoon guys, it's James here from Sunseeker Southampton, down at a very sunny Poole site today to take a look around a brand new Sunseeker Manhattan 55. So she's behind me here ashore in the yard, boat number 320. And she's available for immediate delivery. So she's a 2021 model here, as you can see, finished in the white Sunseeker gel coat with that signature black boot top stripe running just above the waterline there. Very high spec boat. These are 1.15 million ex-tax base boat, and we're about 1.5 million ex-tax as you see her. Really nice spec. We've got Seakeeper 6 gyro stabilizer, upgraded internal wood, full Mediterranean pack, big electronics, big AV, which we'll cover in a little bit more detail as we take a look round her today. So boats ashore here, not yet been PDI'd, so a few little bits and pieces to check off, and she could be in the water still in time to enjoy the rest of the 21 season here in the UK, or shipped off down south if you prefer a home down in the Mediterranean or Adriatic. See on the outside here some lovely carbon fibre engine intakes, and we've got that stainless steel bar running through the middle of the pulpit and side rails there, and give her a real nice quality feel. This particular boat fitted with a manual bimini top up there, so we'll have a look at that when we get on board, check her out in a little more detail. So we've just come up onto the staging behind her here. Powered by a pair of the D13 800 horsepower engines on shafts. She's got proportional bow and stern thruster controls, so very easy to manoeuvre. Just have a walk around here, you can take her in her full glory. Absolutely striking boat, based on what was previously the Manhattan 52, which is a hugely successful, arguably most successful boat that Sunseeker have ever produced. And they've just evolved this model for 21 and beyond with a new look interior and a few little subtle exterior changes here when you walk around the outside. So we come back round to the stern here. So this is the hydraulic high-low bathing platform. It will lift 450 kilos, although we recommend that's reduced to 150 kilos with the weight of the gyro that's fitted. On the stern here we've got the optional beach club arrangement, so up on the drop down top here we've got the griddle with a little prep area and then a seat beneath, and then the locker here next to it has the shower built in there, as well as a little pull-out deck shower here on the starboard side, and it's a quite a handy locker there to put a C-bob, F5 C-bob will fit in there. And then across on this side, this is the optional crew cabin arrangement. Turn the lights on so you can see. Across on the starboard side there's a bathroom, and then you've got a little sink cum prep area. Just climb down in here. Hidden behind the cushion, we've got an optional washer dryer there, and there's a towel cupboard here above. This is an infill cushion for up on the foredeck, which we'll have a look at in a bit. And then underneath the bits and pieces here, this is a good sized single crew bed, and they've got wardrobe and what have you. It's got 6,000 BTU aircon unit for the crew quarters itself, so handy if it doubles up as a guest accommodation. You'll note on the floor here, this is a non-slip type lino floor, just makes it a little bit more hard wearing, dragging things like these canopy bags and what have you inside. This is the table from up on the foredeck, which is just taken off for storage. Keep everything looking nice and brand new. Obviously see the teak deck here looking absolutely fantastic. She's got optional teak running bathing platform and cockpit is standard, and then she's got it up on the Flybridge as well as the side deck, so fully packaged up. On the back here, these are the optional additional lower cleat arrangement. Worth noting on the back here, we've got the additional cleats for tender when it's in the water, and then part of things like the Mediterranean Platinum Med Pack, we've got the stern docking winches here. Nice little bins for storing the tails off the lines. And then a very social centre U-shaped seating area here. You can see the table obviously folds up, the little sticks fold under the table, and then you've got a little bit more room for, say, a coffee table type setup. Obviously not out today as the sun's up, but we've got canopies that slide into a track around the back here. They drop down at about 40 degrees, and that encloses this whole aft cockpit area so that you can then incorporate it into part of your usable space when the weather's not quite so good, whether that's storing your cushions if you're down in the Med, or here in the UK becomes part of your living space. We can integrate it to the aircon system inside, or even retrofit a diesel heating system if required. You see the big glass patio door that fills in this gap here, and there's an electric window here to close off the interior, exterior at the touch of a button. So we'll just head up on the side decks before we go inside. You can just take in a little bit of the exterior feel. See nice little detailing with things like the Manhattan badges here. Vast windows, you can see. Stood here on the side deck, I'm nearly 6 foot, and the window's almost up to my head from deck level there. So really bright and airy inside. Lets a lot of natural light in. And then we come up to the foredeck where we've got this giant U-shaped seating area come sun pad arrangement. So this is all fixed seating here. The 2 corner cushions here actually lift up to give you somewhere, say, to sit and read a book. And then the table we saw stored away sits on here on a pedestal base, and it drops down to about this area here, and that gives you a cushion for sunbathing. The boat is fitted with a full Sonos AV system, so you see we've got speakers up here on the foredeck as well as other zones around the boat, which we'll have a look through. It's got its own amplifier for this zone. And you can see up top there we've got things like the horn, remote control spotlight. On the bow itself, upgraded anchor, so 9.5mm, 60 metres of chain, 25 kilo upgraded anchor. Sat up there, we've got things like the deck controls here, a freshwater washdown point. Just pop the locker open. You see plenty of room, both for the anchor storage here with a separate partition bulkhead, and then fenders tucked up in the bow there out of the way. It's got a nice little handle here for tying off the tails on your fenders, so you're not upside down in the locker when you want to get them out again. LED lights running around the side decks here. Look very pretty at night, and then you'll see the fittings on the outside here are for the protective covers package, so the cushions can live out when the boat's not in use. We've got some handy storage lockers underneath the cushions here. I've toured one of these before on my channel, so this is more a case of looking at this actual boat itself rather than the model, where you can see a little bit more detail on the first video I did. You'll see the fittings on the side here, so this is mesh, black mesh covers that go over the windows to keep the heat out. Just come back round here. You'll notice as I walk down, you can walk down the decks here forward, plenty of space, and you've got handrails all the way down. If you're ever worried, I've done additional handrails in here, handrails on the roof and what have you, so we can overcome anybody that's perhaps not quite so sure-footed. Last thing to note out here in the cockpit before we go inside, we've got the optional 3rd station control, so the Zenta joystick. We've also got those at both helms, and start and stops for the engines back here as well. You'll see a little panel here for lighting, so we've got underwater lights on the bathing platform, 4 Lumishore lights, and then of course all the LEDs that you see through all the new Sunseekers today. They're all nighttime dimmable if you want to turn the boat to a little bit softer light, as they can be a little harsh sometimes at night. And then it's time to look inside. So, aft galley arrangement here back on the main deck itself. Lots of upgrades in this particular area, so we've got the full wine fridge there. These are all drawers for storing bits and pieces. All soft close. And then on the back of this, we've got the upgraded Miele dishwasher, slimline unit there, bin storing away underneath the worktop. Note this is a Minerva Calcutta, which is an upgraded stone on the top here. There's a 1.5 bowl sink arrangement. Then up top, of course, the obligatory Sunseeker tea set. Full set of crockery. This is an extractor fan over the 4-burner electric top. We've got an upgrade on the Miele convection. And then underneath you've got the crockery drawer for 6 on board. And then in the forward section here, back of the sofas, we've got the Dartington crystal glasses, further champagne glasses in this one. A little bit of storage in here. So we're packing it in really well on this boat. So across starboard side, this is the upgraded refrigeration. So we've actually got 4 huge drawer type units, absolutely vast in terms of onboard provision storage, lots of little cupboards and what have you. Packing it in again up here, and the fiddle rails you'll see on the corners here just to make a little bit more space. Coffee machine up top, what have you. It's a very practical galley, obviously whether you're based here in the UK or overseas, works very nicely for both inside and outside. Obviously this being a high traffic area through here, we've elected to go with a Cadorian hardwood floor, which is finished in that lovely silver oak. The wood finish itself on the cupboards is a satin sheen eucalyptus, which is a dark wood, really nice figured graining through the cupboards here, and you'll notice how it all matches up beautifully. Contrasts nicely with things like the stainless steel handrails here, and lots of inlaid stainless steel we'll see through the table here, and as we go downstairs, further detail just to highlight the real luxury feel we have on one of these. So coming forward here, we now have the deck saloon area, so port side. Notice Roman blinds, which are a factory upgrade over the metal Venetians. Again, some very funky LED lighting, probably looking a little strange in the camera as it just sorts out the frame rate there. Again, dimmable at night. 55-inch TV sat up here on the starboard side as a permanent feature. Underneath, we've got the Sonos soundbar. Then underneath here, again, various units. So there's a Blu-ray player for the saloon. Again, a further Sonos zone in here. The sofa here tucked up behind the helm seat. This comes out, it's freestanding, and you can put it around the table for additional dining when required, so quite comfortable for 8 guests. Of course, the AV system, being a high spec, has the PepWave router built in as well, so we've got 4G connectivity, generally within about 20 miles of land. Just need to stick a data card, or in fact 2 data cards in that, to give you switchable connection to stream your Spotify and Apple Music and what have you. So coming up to the helm, we've got the upgraded Isotta multifunction steering wheel here with buttons to allow you to control the plotters without having to lean forward onto the dash itself when you're underway. Our own bespoke CM8 monitoring panel, so this does things like lighting controls here. We can look at various onboard systems, controlling generator and what have you. Talking of generator, we're on an upgraded 17.5 kilowatt generator needed for that gyro. There's an iPad mini that comes with the boat to run the AV system, of course connects to your phone and what have you these days. Wireless charging point for your mobile, and then nice little banker switches here for anchor control, horn, electric window here, which is up on the starboard side here by the helm. And then down next to the helm seat we've got the VHF, the optional joystick arrangement there. And forward of that, this is the autopilot control. We've got our proportional upgraded thrusters to include a stern thruster. Displays here, so these are NSS Evo 3S, which is the new Simrad 16-inch display, and then we've got 12-inch displays up on the Flybridge. You'll see on the helm seat here, currently up in the standing position, so you've got a lot more space on the floor here, and that drops down when you need it to. The bench slides fore and aft. Just to give you some sense of scale, that's me sat here at the helm. I've got loads of room all around me, and I hold the camera at eye line, and I'm literally looking straight through the windscreen here. So great viz if you do have a bad day and need to drive from the lower helm itself. And you can see all the way back there through the doors, making docking very straightforward. Of course, we can add a reverse camera if you've got the covers up regularly. Over here opposite, big storage bins for your binoculars and various other boat paraphernalia. Tucked under the helm, this is all your main breaker system. Of course, further breakers down in the engine room, but it's just handy to have those to hand. A carpet upgrade throughout, so very nice pattern here. It's a light colour without being impractical, with that nice dark grey fleck in there as well. And if you look at the sofas and what have you, we're quite maritime themed with greys and blues, very neutral, easy to dress the boat up if you want to do something really funky, but at the same time I think it works very well in here already. Matches in nicely with these light colour headline and contrast panel there over the saloon. So next off, we're down to the lower deck accommodation. So you see we've got a good handrail here as we walk down the stairs. No creaks and groans, you'll notice, as often you may see on other boats. And this beautiful graining again through the wood. You see through the doors here. So we have 3 cabins. Shut that door to give you scale in the forward. So this is a VIP guest cabin, island centerline double. So we've got a drawer in the end here. Good size wardrobe, we've got some drawers underneath. And then tucked up, this is under the side decks. We've got space up in the top. They run all the way along. Nice little LED reading lights up top. You'll notice we've got the Sonance speakers. Big natural light hidden behind that blind there. That's a big skylight with an emergency escape hatch as well. You can see we've got a nice detail panel up on the headboard there. And the bed covers are white with a sort of pearl fleck. Again, the Roman blinds down here. And then hidden behind the door here, it's a 43-inch TV. Cupboards in the bottom here. Then we come to the twin guest cabins. We've got a pair of single beds, great size in here. You can see a flat floor, we're not having to step down into the boat. If I, again, standing here, I've got loads of room up on the ceiling here, only a minor encroachment here at the headboard end of the bed, which is the underside of the lower helm there. Again, neutral colours in here with the same detailing running through the headboards. This is a wall light which isn't turned on at the moment. We've got big opening port lights there. Wardrobe. Towels that come with the boat are white Christie's, so there's bath, hand and flannel for each of the 6 people on board. 24-inch TV up on the bulkhead there. You'll see the little panels here. So this is aircon controls, and these are the selectable dimming light systems that are all multi-programmable. So 2 bathrooms on the boat, or heads if you want to be technical. We've got one with a Jack and Jill access from that VIP cabin forward, and then in as a day head as well here. So it services the 3rd cabin as well as guests that are just on board for the day. We've got vacuum flush Tecma toilets. Good size hand basin there. Storage up above. And then good size shower compartments. So rain shower up in the roof, as well as a separate handset there. Often get asked what these are like and how usable they are. So again, look, standing in here, you've got plenty of room. Then come aft, we're going down to the master stateroom. So on the right as you come in, so port hand side of the boat itself is the ensuite, much the same as the shower in the guest accommodation. And again, the same fit and finish throughout all of here. Moving aft, we now come to the bedroom itself, where we've got a linear sideboard on the port side of the boat, and then across opposite, this particular one spec'd with that lovely sofa. There's an option to have 2 tub chairs and a table in here, or even an additional sideboard for more storage. This works really nicely for many different owners. So in the corner here, we've got things like shore power lead, mosquito nets, toolkit, there's a hose pipe, so lots of additional bits that you'd be paying for on other brands. It's all included on a Sunseeker from build. Again, same colour themes running through the headboards here. Slightly different tone on the bed there with the aqua green cushions. You see those lights there on the wall are the same to what was in the guest cabin. Again, 55-inch telly in here. We've got the sound bar underneath. There's some cupboards underneath, a bit more storage. And over this side, again, drawers. Cupboards underneath. So it's very well thought out, very functional. You'll notice the massive glass windows. It does really feel bright down here. Hard to express it really on the camera. but very well thought out. So one of our best, if not best selling model ever built, which tells you it works in a multitude of different environments from hot and cold climates. So we come back to the cockpit, let's head upstairs, see what the Flybridge is all about. So the first thing you notice is we don't have a ladder. We're on a nice big stairwells here, good tread risers and handrails to grab hold of as you come up. And as we're met at the top here with a nice big safe deck area, there's plenty of seating up here, lots of these running as charter boats, coded for 12 plus 2 crew. And you can see why, just how much seating and social space is offered up top here. So say manual bimini frame, a couple of people, takes just a couple of minutes to pull it forward and put the securing bars in place, and that can live up all season. Up top here we've got the 64 nautical mile 4-foot radar scanner there, TV aerial, AIS aerial and what have you. Twin VHF aerials on the arch. Of course we could paint those black if you want to do something a little different. Table itself much the same as the cockpit table, these fold in to give you a bit more space. Dedicated life raft storage, we've got seating around the back here with storage underneath. Again Sonance speakers for the Sonos zone up top, lots of speakers spread around. Flybridge wet bar. Often if you see the griddle on the aft deck with the beach club, you won't take the second option, however this boat does have it, so totally top spec. Then we've got a sink next to it, a refrigerator, ice maker, lovely big heavy quality doors here. This is quite a handy windbreak on the wet bar itself. Again, exterior cover package which covers all of this up to take the cushions, can live out all the time. So opposite the helm to port here we've got a nice social seating area which is not buffeted by the wind when you're running, as you obviously got that nice big deep windscreen. We can do a little table in here if you wish. For me I think it restricts the floor a little bit and you're better off with a freestanding one, but the option's there if you wish. Big sunpad area under what would otherwise be dead space up forward here, just makes further space for enjoying time aboard. Just taking that foredeck now from a slightly different angle. And then stepping back off the sunpad, we have the Flybridge helm. So you notice we've got a helm and co-pilot seats, currently with the bolsters up to give a bit more working room on the floor here. Handy when you're coming in, want to stand up. And you can see from the helm here straight down the back there onto that bathing platform, as well as being able to see all the way from the stern, right down the side deck and up to the bow. So working with a crew, very straightforward from the helm here. Nice array of electronics, so these are the same NSS Evo 3 displays, but 12-inch format for the dash up here. VHF handset, again thrusters, throttle and joystick control, multi-function steering wheel. It's much the same as we've seen downstairs. Everything's nicely to hand. And then tucked under the cushion here, that's a pull-up vertical acrylic screen just to give you a little bit more spray protection if it's a foul day. Just makes driving from up top a little bit less tedious. Tucked under here, so we've got some storage lockers, again for masts and snorkels and what have you, all the paraphernalia you generally carry on a boat when you're out at sea. So that's the Flybridge. Let's just head back down to the cockpit. Let's take a look around the all-important machinery space. So access through the floor here, you'll notice we don't have a threshold on the door, so this is a drain underneath that nice teak panel. So we'll lift this up and you notice we've got a ladder down, plenty of space so it's easy to access forwards or backwards. Just try and stand back so you can see how these work. So we're on a straight engine versus gearbox with a shaft behind it, conventional layout. So previous 52 built with D11 725s, these now built with D13 800s. They really do get up and go. Haven't yet put a sea trial video up of one of these, but very impressive performance. Tucked up behind underneath that mesh cover, that's the gyro itself. Slight change from a standard layout, so the generator has to be picked up onto this plinth to allow the gyro to fit. It's got a hydraulic pack here running off the gearboxes. Everything's beautifully finished down here. You can see all the soundproofing and lagging heat and what have you. You've got the hydraulic packs for passerelles, bathing platforms and what have you. This is an access space for servicing equipment, so we've got plug-ins for the back of the deck wash up here and the freshwater inlet, canister for the bilge water going out over the side, so it's nicely finished. Everything's beautifully labelled and double clipped where necessary. You see things like on the panels here, individual switches for all the breakers on board, big fire suppression system tucked behind the ladder there. So let's just drop that back down. So that's her. As I say, she's here. Here we are, start of September. Very much available. I can sort you out with a mooring here on the south coast if you're interested. Of course, for any of our other multiple territories we look after around Europe and beyond. So if you'd like to know any more, as always, it's james.lumley@sunseekersouthampton.com or mobiles +44 7747 686 587. Hope you enjoyed the tour today and look forward to hearing from you soon.